Chevron 1 encoded. Chevron 2 encoded. Chevron 3 encoded. Chevron 4 encoded. Chevron 5 encoded. Chevron 6 encoded. Chevron 7 locked. Good luck out there.
And welcome everyone to this week's episode of Stargate Flames of Hope. We are here, we are back, and we are excited to play Stargate and experience all the terrible, wonderful, horrific, beautiful things that our Gate Master has in store for us today. So we're going to go around, we're going to say who we are and who we're playing, because it's been a hot minute, because, you know, it's just life. Life happens. So I'm Lindy. I'll be playing Ixora. She is the Turan scientist of the group, who is currently the only conscious member of the party and is terrified a little bit. Below me on the overlay, we have Deception Check. How are you?
I remembered I go first in this one, so I had like, okay, what am I again? Hi, I'm Deception Check. I'm playing Fiddler. He's a Tolan engineer and quite a troublemaker at times, and is currently unconscious, dreaming about strudel or something. I don't know.
Yeah, strudel, whatever. I mean, maybe Gork's food reviews has gotten to you and you're dreaming about it.
It really has.
It really has. Speaking of Gork, we have the birthday boy with us today.
Hi!
D20
Yes.
How are you? Happy birthday.
That's me. Thank you. I'm D20 Coup de Grace. I'm playing Gorik. He's, the Jaffa food critic. And, yeah. It's my birthday, so I've been drinking a little bit. So, yeah.
Woo!
Have fun.
I'm so excited.
I plan on it.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Shiny Pilot. How are you tonight?
Hey, I'm good. I keep having a slight coughing fit, so I apologize. But I'm great. I'm playing Jake Miller tonight. He's a Tari team lead. Learn what it's like to run with all these great people, and I'm looking forward to tonight. It's been a while, so let's do this.
Let's do this as I hand this over to our beautiful, lovely, would never intentionally hurt us too badly, maybe, Gate Master Nugatosaurus. How are you this evening?
I am doing great. Listen, I might like the angst and murder from my characters, but I promise I won't force that on y'all. Not unless you ask for it. Yeah, I'm Nugatosaurus. I am y'all's Gate Master for tonight. We're just gonna pick up right where we left off. I'll do a quick recap, and then we're gonna jump right in. Gorik, I can promise that I won't kill you on your birthday. I can make you that promise. Just you. That's the only person I'm promising, though. So last time we played, our intrepid adventurers woke up after, spending the night in Jane's cave. Jane being the person that they found trapped beneath a temple on the that was discovered on the planet that the Stargate Phoenix base is located on the opposite continent. They spent the night. Everything was fine. In the middle of the night, Ixora heard a sound, a signal, something that lasted for exactly 38 seconds and then ended. In the morning, everybody ate some breakfast. There were some conversations that were had between Kathy, Co, and the rest of the party about, their host and, the possibilities of them being Jaffa or Goa'uld or anything like that. No definitive answers were given. During the remainder of the day, they traveled to a lake that Jane knows of, the only source of, fresh water in this environment, in this biome down here, several, hundred, maybe thousands of feet beneath the surface. While there, some other discoveries were made. Jake Miller, Kathy, and then eventually Gorick all went over to mounds of rocks that had been placed very strategically along the lake bed, lake shore, that they discovered were graves. And you all know that Jane said that there used to be many of them. It wasn't just her. She's just the last. Ixora found some samples. She, caught some tadpoles, and then decided to go diving in the lake, just kind of willy-nilly. And thankfully, Jane did dive in after and was able to
they killed the
warn her.
lake monster. I didn't know there was a new one.
Yeah, they killed the old lake monster. The new one, not so much. So when Ixora dived down, she went past a layer of silt and then found a massive drop off that was relatively clear and could be seen. The glow stick that she dropped down could be seen for quite some time. And then she was found by Jane and alerted to the presence of an orca-sized catfish creature that wanted to munch on them for breakfast. Thankfully, they were able to get out. Ixora, I don't think you weren't injured, were you?
I was not, but Jane was.
Right. Jane was, yes.
She
Jane
got,
was bitten.
Bite.
Excuse me. Jane was bitten, and thankfully, once y'all were back on shore, Rock was able to do some medicing and stem that and make sure that everyone was not going to die. During that time, Gorick discovered that the graves were the most recent grave was of a Jaffa who had a Goa'uld skeleton wrapped around the spinal column, which is highly unusual because when a Goa'uld dies within a host, they dissolve and there's no evidence of them other than some naquita in the host. The middle most recent Goa'uld was a little bit more dissolved. You could see some faint bones there, but not as prominent as the most recent one. And then the furthest down was the oldest grave, was discovered by Ixora after her adventure in the lake, to be an Unas, an Unas that predated Goa'uld hosts. So pre them being used as the primary host for our alien oppressors here. And then as the party split and decided to go off and do some things by themselves, they all started to feel a rattling pressure on their chest and they all collapsed to the ground. Some of them passed out relatively quickly. The rest of them took a little bit longer to, lose consciousness. And our Ixora, our tallest person here was able to stay awake long enough to deduce that these were G-forces that were being pressed down on them, the reason why they fell, the reason why they couldn't move, and that whatever was happening, perhaps they were hurtling through the atmosphere, through space, whatever it was, there were no inertial dampeners, there was no protection against these G-forces. We're going to pick up right there. We are going to start with you, Ixora, since you are the only person awake. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw. This will be a difficult DC.
We'll see what happens. Da 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 da. 15.
Okay, so you've made these connections. You see your companions. You see they've got blood coming from their noses, a couple of them from their ears as well. You can feel some of your blood drip down your nose, and you do start to get black dots over your vision, and you do lose consciousness.
Yeah, cool.
An indeterminate amount of time.
There's the last thought through the head of, well, at least everything else on this level should also lose consciousness.
And then you're out like a light. An indeterminate amount of time passes. I would like everyone to please roll me. Let me just look at the sheets real quick. I'll just look at Gorik since it's the first one I see. Everyone can roll me. Let's just do perception checks.
Eesh.
Okay, I'm
Hey,
seeing
all
a
right.
12.
We got some good ones.
for- 12 for Jake, 9 for Gorik, 21 for Ixora, and a 16 for Fiddler. Okay. Ixora, you are the last one to pass out and the first one to wake.
It's because I'm so tall. Man, that's just,
Exactly. Yeah, it's the height. It's the height.
It's the height.
You have a raging headache.
Ugh.
You've got the body aches. It kind of feels like the leftovers of like a really bad flu, the
Ooh.
Tauri flu.
I've heard of such things. Terrible, terrible.
No fever, nothing like that. But you've got the body. Every bit of you, like moving, is painful. Your head is pounding. You open your eyes and it's dim wherever you are. It's not bright light. There is a light source up on a wall behind you. As this kind of registers, you realize it's a metal wall behind you. There's a metal wall behind you. There's a metal wall to your left. There's one to your right, and there's one in front of you as well. You are laying on a hard bench that seems to be like attached to the wall. It's built in, essentially.
Made out of metal too?
Made out of metal as well.
Okay.
You don't see any access points. There is no doors. There is no windows. You are in a metal box with a single, like, half dome, very softly emitting light above you on the wall.
I think just slow motions, just because everything's sore, and also you wanna wake up slowly, get the blood moving. Just pat around. Do I have all my things on me?
You have nothing on you.
Samples. Do I have clothes?
You have clothes. You are wearing clothing. You don't have any weapons, any of your supplies. All of your samples are gone. Some of the like feathers and trinkets and twigs and stuff that are in your hair are gone as well.
I think that is the most upsetting thing out of all the things. Like, whatever, the weapon, yeah, my samples. And then it's like, I think that's just a whisper. My samples. And my hair.
And as you notice your hair, you notice it's anything that could be sharp, could have been used as any potential weapon, tool, anything.
So some
like,
of the
make that connection.
feathers are probably still in there. But
Like the smaller feathers that aren't like as hard or anything like that, is like the bigger ones,
down ones.
Yeah. Some of those are still there. The more possibly could have been a tool ones. Yeah, things like that are gone.
Ixora is upset, but keeps composure, and will slowly work to a sitting up.
Okay. You sit up. There isn't really any kind of change in the room. Nothing piques your interest. Is there anything you would like to do? Anything you would like to try?
Yes. There's no discernible entrance or anything. That would be terrible for anyone but an archaeologist who has, I can automatically locate any secret chambers or hidden rooms at a structure no larger than 20 meters square per proficiency bonus. So, I won't know how it's accessed, but only if it exists, or like where it exists. So I'm gonna spend that Eureka point to try to be like, where is the entrance in this room? Like, how how are people, because they're gonna come in at some point, how are they gonna come in? I want to be ready.
So read that to me one more time.
Okay. As an action, you can spend a Eureka point to automatically locate any secret chambers or otherwise hidden rooms within a structure no larger than 20 meters square per proficiency bonus. So, we have proficiency 3, so 60 square meters. This does not indicate how the secret area may be accessed, only that it must exist within the area. In addition, you gain advantage on any perception checks to find hidden elements or architecture, such as secret levers, traps, triggers, or hidden doors.
Okay. I'll give it to you. It's not necessarily like I guess it'd be secret to you since you don't see it, so that's how I'll view it. There is something above you.
Oh, okay. That is not what Exora was expecting, and we'll just be even more nervous now. Like it comes from above.
Yeah, there's something above you. You don't know, if it's a room, if it's a teleportation rings. Not
That's
sure what
fine.
these is. There's something up there.
That's fine. I'll just stew on that.
Okay. Alrighty. While you stew on that, the next person up is gonna be Fiddler. Fiddler, you come to. You again, same thing. You have a massive headache. You've got the body aches. Everything hurts. You've got some blood leaking from your nose still. It's so around the edges. It's been dried a little. It's dried blood, but there's still some leakage there. And you've got same exact. You see metal walls all around you. You're laying on a metal bench, and there is a half dome light behind you.
Who spiked the MREs? What the hell? Is it Saturday night again? Goa'uld punched me again. All right, what the? All right, I'm on base again. That's right. I'm back in the holding cell. All right, what did I do this time? Goa'uld, you around? Sorry. No. Jake. Can you bail me out again, Jake? Shit.
There is no response. And you, as you come to, this isn't quite like the holding cells back at base. This is different. You don't quite recognize. Yeah, still a little blurry, but you're starting to make that connection that maybe this isn't what you think it is.
Oh, right. We're trapped in that fishbowl. And now I'm in a smaller one. Turns around, looks at the light. How is it attached to the wall? Is it in the wall? Is it part of the wall? No seam. It's just radiating through the metal, or does it have a lens or anything like that?
No, so it's you can't quite tell because it is radiating light, but as you touch it, it feels the same as the wall.
So it's just illumination coming through the wall. No seams, nothing.
Damn good prison cells.
Yeah. And I have none of my technology on me at all.
Nope, nothing's on you.
Even my little watch.
Even your little watch. Everything has been removed except for your you don't even have shoes. You have your t-shirt and your pants.
All right. Bastards took my jacket. Shit. I honestly, he's got nothing. I mean, if there's no access points or technology to review, I mean, he's an engineer. There's nothing for him to look at. So, yeah, he just sits there thinking.
Sits there. Okay. Alrighty, then in that case, next up, next to Wake. Oh, you know what? I did not roll Rock or Kathy. So 2d20. A 5 and a 12. Okay, so next up is going to be Jake Miller.
Okay, so he slowly wakes up, head's pounding. He just kind of slowly sits up and goes, opens his eyes, looks around, and he sees those who are awake and then where we are. Everyone okay?
You are alone.
What? Rubs his eyes a little bit more, looks around. Guys?
You hear no response. You are in a metal box, essentially. There is a half dome behind you that is illuminating some very dim light. And that is all you see.
He's going to try and stand up a little bit, probably a little wobbly on his feet, rubbing his head.
Yeah, you stand up. There's plenty of space. This is probably, I'd say like a 15 to 20. You're not totally sure how tall it is. It's about a 15 to 20 foot ceiling. You can cross the cell in maybe like 5, 6 steps. It's very narrow. And that's pretty much all you
Okay.
see.
He looks towards that dome thing and looks around and kind of looks at the dome and goes, "Hello? Anybody there?"
You hear nothing. There is no response. Roll me a perception check.
All right, let's see. Perception. Haha. I'm 11.
11. Okay,
Whopping.
not awful. You are a member of Stargate Phoenix. You're also military. So you don't recognize this, right? Like this isn't something that you know, but you recognize the situation, if that makes sense.
Yeah. We're gonna get interrogated.
Possibly interrogated. You're definitely being separated, obviously. You're not with your people. You imagine that there's probably some kind of surveillance in here, with your military tactical mindset. That's probably something that you come to the conclusion of.
Definitely a camera or something watching me right now.
Could be a camera somewhere. You're not sure where, don't know, really even know where to start looking. You do get, and actually all of you will get this, there is, after you come to and you've spent maybe like 5-10 minutes in the cell, you realize that there is a background hum. One that you can recognize from when you were on a spaceship last.
Jake then will call out, "Hey, look, if you're watching me right now, would you mind turning down the hum?"
There is no response.
Hey, come on, we're just peaceful explorers. I'm Jake of the Tari. Got a bad headache? You have my friends. Maybe.
No response.
No response.
There's no change in the hum, no response, no nothing.
Okay.
Next up to wake is Kathy and Co. I am gonna roll something for them. Okay. They wake up in their cell, and that's all I'll tell you. Next awake, we have Goa'uld. Goa'uld, you come to, you have a raging headache. Yes.
Now, before I even open my eyes, can I tell I've been moved?
Roll me like an insight check.
Insight.
Well, yes.
Okay. Then I don't. I pretend I'm vulnerable and asleep.
Okay. So you just fake being asleep. Roll me
until I hear or sense someone I can trust around, someone I can't trust around. That's what I'm gonna do.
I love it. Roll me a performance check, please. Or deception. Performance or deception, whichever you prefer.
They'd both be the same. I'm apparently not very good at it.
Just go into a deep state of Kelno-Reem.
I'm trying. It's just... Well, actually, how long have we been like this?
You're not sure.
I mean, I might be able to tell on my in the factor of how long it's been since I've had my Tritotem.
That's very true. Let me do a Google real quick.
Ooh.
Unless they're administering to me, which they might be, whoever they are.
Stargate Tritonin.
I think it's like a daily thing.
I
I
thought
know
it was
you have to. Well, I
every 3
know.
days or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it could
think it's
be.
like it's every couple of days. Um. Okay, 1970. Refinement by the Tok'ra. Okay. Jacob Carter. Tritonin Tower prisoners manufacture it. Okay. Physical effects. A
Learn
Jaffa with a
stuff.
dangerous low amount of tritonin in their body will require several hours before their stamina is fully regained. A Jaffa taking tritonin in lieu of a symbiote will experience a slight but noticeable decrease in physical strength. Okay, upon starting. Okay, so furthermore, as tritonin replaces the need for symbiote, Kelno Ream is no longer necessary. Okay, so it doesn't give me. It doesn't tell me how frequently.
How frequently I have to use it? Oh, well, maybe I just always viewed
Well,
it as like a few day thing,
yeah, we'll say it's like a weekly thing.
weekly thing. Okay.
You are not currently noticing any ill effects at this particular moment.
Okay. All right. Well, then I poorly pretend to be asleep.
Okay, okay. Nothing really happens. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything. You're not sure how much time passes. It's really hard to tell here. And then Kathy is gonna wake next. I need to roll Rock. Rock wakes next. Jesus Christ, I cannot roll today. Okay. Rock is gonna do that. There we go. All right. So everybody's awake or pretending to be asleep. Ixora,
Yes.
you're not sure how much time has passed.
Yep.
You are aware of that secret space above you.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that,
Just meditating
you
on that
yeah,
space.
you notice when the faintest light, like if you didn't know it was there, you wouldn't see it,
Mm-hmm.
appears in a circle on the ceiling, and then in the ground or on the ground in front of you, a tray of food appears.
I see. I focus on the light above to see how many seconds it lasts. Like if it's just a flash, or if it's like like how it's obviously a
question.
Teleport of some kind, but
yes, it lasts for. Let me look at my notes. That's what I want. That and that. It lasts for 6 seconds.
okay. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. And some food appears in front of you. It's a just a selection of like fruits. You recognize like some oranges, like the Tauri oranges. You recognize some like delicacies from across the galaxy. It's not any one type thing. You see a couple like Tauri things. You see some you see like one like Jaffa dessert essentially. It's like just like this little like pudding cup essentially equivalent. You see there's like what would the equivalent of like a beef patty would be. And
so it's decent food. It's pretty good food.
It's not like they're not like feeding you crap. Yeah, they're not feeding you crap.
Nice food.
Yeah, and there is a cup of water, what appears to be water. It's clear, doesn't smell like anything.
All right. How hungry am I?
Pretty hungry.
Okay. cool. I will nibble on
Okay.
the fruits. I'll avoid
Perfect.
the water first, but I'll start with the fruits.
Okay, absolutely. Next, who woke up next? Fiddler. You are sitting there just kind of twiddling your thumbs when you blink and there is a tray of food on the ground in front of you.
Okay, like literally blink and it's there. Nothing else.
You can roll me a perception check.
Okay, because I'm pretty much the technology guy. 10.
10. Let me roll something. That would be that. Okay. You do notice the same thing Ixora notices. There is the faintest, if you weren't, adept with technology and you weren't doing literally nothing else, the faintest ring appears in the ceiling in a circle for 6 seconds and then disappears.
So like the Goa'uld teleportation disc kind of circle?
It doesn't, so it's just a single thin line.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, so like with the rings, they're thick, right? And they come down and they slam to the ground and then they go back up. None of that happens. It's literally, it could be, it's circular like that. That's pretty much the only similarity there. It's possible.
Okay.
Stands different technologies using the same physics.
Picks up the plate and literally sits down like cross-legged in the exact spot where the plate was teleported and then just starts eating.
Okay.
He's going to stay right there and not move. See what happens. What is the plate made out of?
Some type of ceramic.
Flexible, brittle.
It's brittle.
Very brittle.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. That means it shatters and turns into shards. Perfect.
Good. Yep.
Okay.
Next.
One other thing.
Yes.
Noticing the light and seeing it appear. Now, I have an ability to understand. Well, I mean, I've noticed the light and I saw it it's appeared in the ground.
Yeah,
where wasn't there before.
You notice the food and then you're like, where did that come from? You look up and you see the light.
Okay.
As it fades away.
So I have an understanding of alien technology to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. Would I imagine this is a transportation beam, or is this a matter assembler of some kind? Or like, is this a replicator or is this a transporter? Is what I'm looking at.
You can roll me a
I can give you science or engineering. And I believe I have an ability called Xenotech Specialist. Oh, okay, you're on my page.
So sorry, I was just looking. Let me go back to that. Yeah. The advanced technology one.
Right. Understand the function and design of technologies, which I'm not already familiar. That's on class abilities, Xenotech Specialist.
Class abilities, Xenotech Specialist. There it is. Okay.
And then I have one that called Advanced Technology, which allows me to use an extra die for tech level 4 or higher and try to understand the function.
Okay. While performing an episode R&D encounter, you may use this out-of-the-box thinking to reduce the time required by 1 stage. In addition, you gain advantage on any ability check to understand the function and design of a technology which you are not already familiar with. Okay. Function technology with a tech level of 4 or higher, you add a tension die to the check. Okay, go ahead and roll me an engineering check, and you can add the tension die, which is a D8.
Okay.
Man, this seems like a pretty high tension episode right now.
15.
I'm pretty tense.
Do I get advantage?
Yeah.
From
that one ability?
Function which you're not already familiar. Yes, you would get advantage. So
Okay.
25. Okay.
And 2.
And 2. So
27.
27. Thank you. I don't know how to math.
hard.
How do I do 5 plus 2? 27. So right off the bat, you can't know for sure. Without getting into the guts of it, you don't really know. This is way past anything you've ever encountered. Which is saying something because you've encountered ancient technology before. You imagine, based off of what you've seen and without getting into the guts of it, it is a matter transporter.
Okay.
Now, I will say, if you're able to get into it later and you're able to maybe look at the guts, with that roll, we'll roll it forward and you can know some more about it.
I'm getting in that thing.
But yeah, with what you've seen so far, that is what you get.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. The next to wake up was Jake Miller, I believe. Yes, Jake. So, you're just kind of talking out loud to yourself. Do you continue to talk or do you eventually stop?
He'll talk a little bit more, and he'll eventually stop. But then, after a little bit of waiting, he'll kind of stab and be like, look, if something out there's watching right now, really, you guys have a bathroom. Well, this is going to get messy in here. You know what I'm saying? Bathroom. Got to get rid of some fluids. No?
There's no response.
Okay.
You do, however, you're talking, you're kind of looking around, you're looking at the walls, glance at the dome, and then when you look back in front of you, there is a tray of food on the ground in the center of the room.
Well,
you can roll
thanks.
me a perception check if you would like.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, Friday, go lay down.
A 20.
20. Dirty 20. Perfect. Yeah,
Dirty 20.
you see the food appear and you're like, where the heck did that come from? And you glance around, you glance up, and you see the faintest ring start to fade away.
Well, he just thinks the thoughts and says, okay, possible teleporter of some kind. Wonder if it can move people. Probably get a visitor sometime soon. And definitely being watched. Not trying to kill me. Getting food. So there's that. No bathroom. He looks at the tray. Is there a cup?
There's a cup of water there. Yep.
He just thinks the thoughts and says, well, desperate times call for desperate measures eventually. We'll try to hold it a little bit longer though. What kind of food is on the tray?
So same thing as Ixora, there is like the equivalent of a beef patty, like a little, what you imagine is a pudding cup. You see an orange and like some melon pieces, like cubes. Nothing, over the top, but it's not bad food.
Okay. He will do all the normal checks of looking over to see if it's suspicious or dangerous or anything. Like to peel open the orange and see if there's anything in it. Like, who knows? Maybe an escape tool or something. But
yeah. No, roll me an investigation check, please.
Okay. He's not going to just chow down on it, but he is starting to get a little hungry. Oh, yeah. 9. Jake, you're killing me, man.
Let me just see real quick. No, this is Fiddler's sheet. Hold on.
I'm refreshing my page. My rolls are they're not bad, but they're driving me nuts.
Okay, let me just see. Okay. So, you don't find anything. It seems to be fine. Nothing, hidden in there. You don't see anything suspicious.
Okay, he'll He'll gently nibble on the fruit first and just, it's not gorging himself, but he's nibbling because who knows when he'll get a next meal.
Yeah, and you are pretty hungry. But I mean, you're not hungry enough that you have to eat, you know. Okay, next up, we do have Kathy and Co. Let me just look at my notes real quick. My written notes, because that is different than my typed notes for this episode. Okay. That's what they do. Okay, so that. They cannot roll for shit. I am also going to refresh. They do that. Gorik, you are pretending to be asleep.
Yes, for a little while
Do
there.
do you do anything else? How long do you pretend to be asleep?
Probably with a while, but I'm also gonna try to like um. I'm in like a seat, right?
Yeah, you're on a like
Table
like a
or
metal bench essentially.
metal bench. Okay. I'll feel for like maybe there's any like screws or anything in the bench
You feel
or
around,
okay.
you feel around on the top, you feel around on the bottom. It seems that it was made all as one piece.
Uh-huh.
No seams, no bolts or anything.
Interesting. All right.
As you're feeling around on the bench and you're trying to figure out, if there's anything here that you can use, when you get done, you turn around and you see a tray of
Oh,
food behind you on the ground.
interesting. What's on it?
So there is a cup of water,
Water.
the equivalent of a beef patty, like a little. You're familiar with this. It's like a Jaffa pudding cup. It's a dessert that you guys are make. It's very common for the Jaffa. You see some fruit like an orange and things like that, and then you also see on your tray one of your tritonin vials.
Okay, well they've definitely done their research on us then. Um, are oranges like exclusive to Earth?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think on some
Like
human planets they found similar
like
plants because they
similar.
transposed them from Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're not exactly the same, but they're
Uh-huh.
similar.
Okay, okay. I was wondering, like, um, hmm. Gork will sit there for a moment and he'll pick up the orange,
Okay.
inspect it, kind of like Fiddler did, uh, and then yeah, he'll eat the orange. That's
Okay.
probably all he'll eat.
Just the orange. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, you're eating the orange, and as you're peeling it, and you eat a couple pieces, you hear a voice. It comes from all around. You can't really pinpoint where it's coming from. It's definitely a female voice. It's a woman, and you hear, "You're not quite like the rest of us, are you?"
Who's us?
That vial you have is very peculiar.
Speak of this, it's by Tree Turnin.
Yes, trittonin. We've heard of it. Why?
Who's we?
Why choose that life?
Oh, I see. Okay. He'll he kind of goes quiet for a minute, and
And they wait. There's
yeah,
no, they're not rushing you or anything. They just ask
uh-huh,
that question and wait for your response.
yeah. Uh, it he'll say, freed me of the influence of Goa'uld.
Hmm. And that's a good thing
Yeah, for me it was.
for you. It was. Why? How? Why? Let me rephrase. Why did you choose to be free of the Goa'uld?
Because they are oppressors,
Hmm. Interesting.
and I don't wish to be uh, their servants any longer.
Did you come to these conclusions on your own? Did someone guide you?
I through uh, through the Stargate program, I was introduced to this substance,
Hmm.
and it was a reason. It was the reason I have joined them.
Did they give you the choice to use it or did they force it upon you?
Well, of course, it was a choice. I don't. They have not forced me to do anything. I would
Hmm.
willingly do.
Interesting. Thank you for your input. Enjoy your food.
So you're not going to answer my question then?
You hear no response.
You. All right, I guess I'll just call you bitch then.
You hear no response.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It's great. You're totally fine.
You've pushed a Jaffa too far. When?
Yeah. Jake,
Yeah.
you're eating your food. You're just kind of,
I had a test in chat that
oh,
I'd like him to do. He sets the food off the tray and leaves the tray off to the side of the food to see if the tray ever disappears or if it stays there.
where exactly do you put it? Do you put it back where it appeared?
A few inches to the right of my food. It's not the same
Okay.
spot, but he's doing a
Okay.
test first to see if it shifts any.
Okay. It doesn't move. It just stays there.
Does it look like a metal tray?
It looks like a ceramic tray. And it feels it's not heavy, but it's not lightweight either.
No. Okay, so I was doing a test to see organic versus inorganic in his own head, and he was also thinking, if they don't take the tray, maybe I could use that as a defensive weapon if something attacks me. So he just nibbles on his food and he sits. So sorry,
Okay.
what were you gonna say?
No, you're fine. So as you're eating, you hear a voice. Um, it kind of echoes it doesn't, there's no echo. It comes from everywhere. It's all around you. You can't pinpoint one location. You work with the Tauri.
Hey,
You
yes.
are a Tauri.
Hey, great to hear a voice. All right. Yeah. Hey, I'm Jake. I'm Tari. I'm of the Tari.
Hmm.
Who are you?
Why are you a part of this Stargate program? What goal do you hope to achieve?
He's kind of confused for me. Like, how does this person know this voice know about the Stargate program? So it kind of takes him back for a minute and he goes, well, I just kind of wanted to, do the coolest and funnest thing that my planet had. And you know what? Traveling through space sounds pretty cool. So here I
Oh,
am.
so this is a fun activity, a leisurely, flippant thing you decided to do.
Well, hey, don't get me wrong. I take pride in my work and being part of this program. I try to be a professional about it, but on our planet, we don't really get to travel the stars much. Who wouldn't want to do something that cool, right?
And the threats that your planet faces, you
Well,
willingly put yourself in harm's way for your planet?
Hell yeah, we do.
no, no reward without risk sometimes.
Hmm. There's like a silence for a little bit.
Um,
Out that bathroom.
he was gonna say, so yeah, about the bathroom. Do you mind if I get like do you know what a toilet is?
There's just silence.
Okay,
Eventually,
so
the
they've seen people eating, but they haven't seen people using the restroom. So it's a
Yeah, I was
private
gonna
thing.
say it's about
So
to get very personal. Yeah, I was gonna say they're gonna learn real quick that cut.
yeah.
What goes in must come out.
There's silence for a bit, and then you hear
Oh, even take a bucket.
so this casual flippant thing that you've decided to do to explore the galaxy. You'd risk your life? You'd risk death for an adventure?
Yeah.
It's towery. So towery.
So tiring.
I was gonna say now when you ask this question, are you referring to just me or the whole Tari
Just
race?
you, Jake
Oh,
Miller.
okay. I'm just worried you're drawing conclusions based off of one man's perspective.
No, just asking about you.
Yeah, just you. Okay. Well, kind of me in a nutshell.
Hmm. And the Goa'uld, you hate them?
Uh, hate's a pretty strong word. Um, I don't really care for them as a whole. It's a complicated situation.
Clearly, you travel with one.
Goric is different.
Ah, the Jaffa is not of whom I speak.
Kathy, the Tok'ra.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, the Tok'ra. Yeah, I was
Kathy
gonna
and
say
Co,
he
the
pauses
Tok'ra.
for a
Yeah.
minute. He goes, "Wait, not my team, the others."
Mhm.
Um, yeah, that one is also different. Not your normal Goa'uld. That's called a Tok'ra. Have you heard of them?
Hmm. Yes.
Hey, look, is my team alive? Is everybody okay?
So you travel with a Goa'uld, and yet you're against them.
It's complicated.
Why? Because of their personal choices?
Well, if you must know, where we come from, we tend to have, technological differences when it comes to fighting some of the enemies we've encountered. The Tok'ra have proven themselves, for the most part, a really good ally in helping keep us alive. They've also become friends of the Tari.
So you're using them, but they're friends.
Not really using, more like, partnering. They use us, we use them, I guess. It's more like a mutual friendship.
And what do the Tal'ri have to offer the Goa'uld?
You mean the Tok'ra? Tok'ra, right? Not the Goa'uld. Goa'uld. We don't really do anything with the Goa'uld.
They are still Goa'uld, whether they call themselves that or not.
Well, I have read mission reports, though it's not my choice to make one way or the other, of human hosts being provided for Tok'ra whose bodies are failing them. Willing volunteers. We don't force anybody. So I guess you could say there is a mutual survival.
That is interesting. You don't hear anything else.
About the bucket, toilet. You still keep trying. I'm gonna pop here.
You see, there's silence for a bit. You see there is along one of the walls, like kind of like a
urinal, just
like a urinal just kind of comes down.
Oh, thank you. He gets up and runs for it. No shame. He's been through the military boot camp. Like it don't matter.
Yeah.
It's just have at it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you have the bathroom now. Ixora.
Oh, hi. Yes, hello.
Hi, hello. What are you doing?
Ixora has eaten everything except for the pudding cup and the mystery meat patty. Because Ixora is debating, well, based on my observations, this is probably an exact caloric, meal provided for energy's sake. Equal levels of fruit, fiber, and protein. However, I don't know if this meat is ethically sourced, or what it even exactly is. And I'm sure... also, I don't know about that pudding cup. Do I eat it? Do I eat it? I don't eat it. What are the ramifications? Would a caloric deficit be acceptable at this moment? She's basically like kind of muttering to herself.
Talking out loud, yeah. As you're muttering out loud, you do hear a voice from all around. Can't pinpoint where it's from. To ease your mind, that patty is genetically engineered.
Oh, wonderful. Take a bite.
Genetically engineered to feel as much pain as possible.
Torture.
Hey, they're torturing me over here for bathroom breaks. Okay,
answer questions and then you can
questions,
pee.
then pee.
You don't really hear much after they tell you that. You do after a little bit. You do hear them again. There's like
my meat
solid,
patty.
Yeah. They seem to be letting you eat, not wanting to interrupt you while you're having lunch or dinner or whatever.
Just keeping my calm, meditative demeanor. I finished the meat patty. I don't eat the pudding cup. I ate everything else though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, why are you with these Tal'ri?
Well, that is a rather interesting question, I suppose. My people don't typically travel a whole lot, but I am just absolutely fascinated by the wonders of the galaxy, the wide plethora of plants and wildlife and peoples and cultures and histories, and I thought it would be a good way of seeing many of those things.
So you're in it for your education.
Yes, and also to, hopefully, spread some of my own people's knowledge throughout the galaxy.
So mutual education.
Yes, I believe everyone has a lot to learn. Life is a continual learning event, you could say.
And fighting the Goa'uld, that seems to be against your people's
Yes,
morals.
I'm not really much into the violence.
Yet you travel with people who can be quite violent.
Yes, I hope that my presence can help counsel them to take paths to peaceful resolution using little to no violence. It doesn't always happen, but one has to try.
How optimistic.
I've heard that being said about me before, yes.
And you travel with a Tok'ra, as I'm told?
Oh, yes.
That doesn't bother you?
Oh, no.
And yet the Goa'uld bother you.
Oh, no, not really. Well, you see, I don't believe that any race is inherently evil. However, I do have feelings about the Goa'uld and their general predisposition towards violence. As an answer to many of the questions that come to their way, I believe that there could be a peaceful resolution to all this. If the Tok'ra do not have to be inherently violent, why do the Goa'uld? No, it is up to each individual whether they decide to take their ancestral memories and what they decide to put those towards. It is not their hatred, it is the hatred of one before them. Now, I understand that many of them don't get past. I feel like a lot of the Goa'uld just need a lot of therapy.
You're not evil, you just need therapy.
You just need therapy.
Same. No.
I believe they could benefit greatly from that to overcome generational traumas. I don't believe any race could be inherently evil.
An interesting point of view for someone who travels with such violent peoples. Tell me, would you fight back to save your life?
Sits and thinks. I suppose it would really depend on the situation.
What situation would bring about such a result?
Well, I believe I would fight back to save my life, but I would not... I would attempt not to kill whoever it was that was trying to harm me. I mean, many things that try to... Well, try is a difficult word. Many things kill people without inherently being another person's responsibility. If there was a landslide coming, of course I would try to get out of the way. I would not just stand there and let it consume me. Many people die falling off of ladders every year, going up and down stairs. But if a person was trying to kill me...
Yes. Would you kill them to save your life?
I would do my best not to.
And if it was inevitable?
Then it would depend on who the person was.
And what type of person might warrant such a sacrifice?
Well, someone who is pure of heart, good, and able to do what I cannot in the galaxy. Spread peace. That is the ultimate goal.
Spread peace. And you believe in the moment, in the heat of a fight for your life, you'd be able to determine if that person was worthy of your sacrifice?
That is a question that I believe could only be answered in the heat of a moment.
Thank you for your input.
Certainly. May I have a name with which to call you?
You do not get an answer.
Okay. All right, well, I'm not going to eat the pudding cup, and I just put the tray back in the center of the room.
You say that, and you put it back in the center of the room. You see that light activate for
and I look
a couple
up
seconds, and then
it
just kind of
so that they know I'm aware that it's there. Like,
yeah. It just kind of dematerializes.
And I'll sit and maybe braid some hair.
Okay.
Chill. Think about, like, those were some very strange questions.
Yeah. Last but not least, Fiddler.
Aye.
What you doing?
Well, after I've eaten every single thing, almost the paper that they were served into the cups and whatnot. I take the little ceramic thing and I break it, just shatter it over my knee to see if I get like a nice long shard of some type, and then I use it to cut my pants, and I wrap a little handle out. So now I have a really good shiv.
Okay.
And I
put that shiv.
I put that in my belt, or not my belt, because I'm sure I don't have my belt now because they took my shoes. They probably took my belt too.
Loop.
Yep.
So I
No
put it on
belt.
the ground
Yep.
next to me. And I look at all the other pieces and I try and figure out a way to use them to try and pry something open. I can find an angle I can probably pry it. And I'm just thinking everything, like, what is this technology? What is going on? How can I make use of it? How can I take advantage of it? How can I take it over? How can I use it to get out of here? That kind of thing. And I'm just my mind's running like I'm sitting there kind of still.
Yeah.
But my mind is running.
Okay. You do all that. You're sitting there thinking, and then you hear the voice. A weapon already. That's very Tal'ri of you.
Oh, don't you ever say no. No, I am not. That is a very disparaging statement for our first conversation to put me down like that. I would not even know where to start. I am Tolan, completely different from these Tal'ri backwards dunderheads.
Yet you do as they would. Get a weapon first chance you get.
Oh, see, that's a trained response. I started off as a student, all right? I was just a very good student, best in my class. Everything was great. And the Goa'uld destroyed my planet. And then my little rescue pod, my little moon where I was trying to grow up and continue to live on my own, away from everything, was also attacked and destroyed. So I've had to kind of learn to protect myself, and I don't take things for granted. So I use my brain, and I use my pointy things. So, and not Tal'ri, but a little bit of both maybe now. Brains for the brawn.
In that case, I apologize for the disparaging remark.
Well, I mean, I can understand the similarities. We are from the same stock, just our brains are bigger.
That is quite the tragedy. Not once, but twice. The second time, was it the Goa'uld again?
It was. I only survived because the Tal'ri found me before the rest of the asteroid was destroyed. So I kind of owe him a bit for saving my life. And, well, I mean, it gave me an opportunity to fight back against the bastards. So I do my best.
And that's why you travel with them? For revenge?
Well, I mean, I get to see the best ancient technology. Like, don't get me wrong. The shit you have here makes ancient technology look like Tal'ri versus Tolan. All right? I understand. But I get to see things. I get to learn things. And everything I learn will help me make my people stronger. So the next time the Goa'uld come after us, the next time we have to make a stand, it's their arses will be kicking, not ours.
And you think that joining with the Tal'ri gives you that best opportunity?
Well, it's either that or float lonely across the stars with no support or help. The Tal'ri have gathered a lot of worlds together. A lot of the ancestors of my race have come together. Other races that I never even knew existed before now have all joined together with the Tari to try and fight back against Goa'uld. Even subsets of the Goa'uld themselves, Tok'ra, squiddy people. They, they're fighting back too the best they can. So, I mean, everyone's trying to save ourselves from their domination.
With what the Goa'uld have done to you, it would make sense that you hate the Tok'ra. They are not much different than their relatives.
Look, all right. Every family has the bully. Every family has the good kid. All right. You can't disparage the good kid because the bully punched you in the mouth. All right. So far, you haven't heard. I don't know if you heard this expression. Trust him as far as I can throw him. As long as they show me no reason not to do wonder about their. I mean, everyone's got their own. Like, look, I'm a Tolan. I'm using the Atari as much as they're using my expertise and my people's. They want our technology because it's so vastly superior to theirs, but way far below yours. So, so it's the same sort of thing. Like, I would kill to see how that thing up there works. I'm racking my brain about it right now. But beyond that, it takes, oh God, this is a Tory statement. I'm really sorry I'm going to use this one, but it's the best. It takes a village. We got to beat the Goa'uld. They're trash. They're slavers. They're parasites on the universe. And until they're gone, I'll use anything I can to see them, see the door, kick him on the ass on the way out.
Anything you can. Would you give your life for that fight?
Oh, I've hidden when I had to, I've run when I should have run. I've hid when I should have hid, and I expected to die every time. If it's my time to go, I just hope I go out in a blaze of neutrinos and plasma and a whole bunch of screaming Goa'uld and Jaffa. I mean, that's what if that's the end, that's the end. I mean, I don't expect it, but I'll keep fighting until I get there. And then there's always the hope to be the gray hair sitting in his rocking chair, patting a little one of the 19 grandchildren on the head, telling him stories about how you kicked the Jaffa in the ass. Whatever, whatever comes.
Old age
doesn't come to most of us, though.
No, it doesn't. You don't hear anything else after that.
Don't expect it. Start sharpening another piece of broken ceramic.
Ceramic, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys each have your conversations with this mysterious female voice.
I have a question. Did it sound like Jane at all?
Roll me.
Oh God, I will stab that bitch in the neck.
Roll me an
insight check.
Yeah, go for insight.
Okay. It's not my best one, but it feels appropriate for trying to determine the voice.
This is punishment for messing with the graves. She's pissed. This is what she's messing with the graves. We're done.
She was faking the whole thing. She's like, "Oh, I'm falling unconscious." Oh, and then
So the voice, it has a vaguely metallic tone to it because you imagine it's coming through
an intercom system.
Yeah, some type of intercom, so you can't really tell.
Okay. It was, worth an ask. I meant to do that one on my turn, and then I got so distracted by thinking, man, the Goa'uld just really needs some therapy.
Yeah, this is some therapy.
Then I was imagining, Ixor in a therapist chair and, Ball on the big red couch and be like, so, what hurt you as a child?
Tell me about that genetic memory.
Yes.
Way back.
Let's dig into that, shall we?
Dig into that, yeah. You guys don't know how much time passes. You do know, each of you, if it gets to the point where you ask for a bathroom, it does show up kind of the same way it did for Jake.
Sore waits as long as she can, and is just excuse me, pardon me.
Yeah, and it'll show up. No response. It just happens. Eventually, you guys notice a shift. The hum. Yes.
Okay. I'm sitting in the middle of the room watching things. Does it appear in front of me or behind me?
What?
The toilet.
Where so you're sitting on the bench?
No, I'm sitting in the middle where the teleportation thing sends things down in case I can get
Okay.
teleported out of
It
here
appears on the
accidentally.
wall. So
Okay.
if the bench is behind you and you're looking forward, it's on the left wall,
Okay.
kind of towards the corner.
How does it come out of the wall? Does it like form from the metal? Like does the metal just come out, or does a seam open and it come out? How does it exit?
It forms from the metal.
Okay, so
the wall itself.
All right, that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay,
Crazy.
thank you.
The wall itself morphs.
That's cool.
Essentially.
Terrifying but cool.
Terrifying but cool.
So cool. So amazingly cool.
I don't like the implications of the metal forming like that.
Yeah.
T1000, anyone?
So all of you, it feels very replicant to
That's
you.
that's what as soon as you said it forms out of the wall, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
I don't want to pee on replicators.
Like that's the connection that you make when you see the toilet come out, all of you, because everybody's very familiar with the replicant. It feels very replicant to you.
Really?
Yes.
Because I was thinking replicate is more building blocks, kind of like squares built into things.
So replicators in their current form, they like block.
Mm-hmm.
But the way it materializes feels like it gives you that vibe. It's not a 1-for-1, but that's what it makes you think
reminiscent
of.
Oh,
okay.
Reminiscent.
Fiddler is thinking, just they're just adjusting the molecular structure of the wall, causing it to form into this. Like these are guys that are teleporting things in front of me, with a simple beam. Making a wall become, an appliance is not difficult for these people.
Yeah, and you make all of those connections, but you also, like, in the back of your mind, like, oh, that kind of feels like a replicant. It's reminiscent, very, similar, but you also make all those connections and all of those molecular, absolutely. Y'all are sitting or doing, whatever it is you're doing at that time. It's been a while. You guys are starting to get a little hungry again. When you notice that the walls around you become transparent. And when you look, you can see all of your companions. From left to right, we have Goa'uld, Rock, Jake, Kathy, Fiddler, Ixora.
I totally go like Chris Knife over the head. You're like, hey guys.
That's awesome.
Hello. Can we hear each
if
other?
It sounds a little muffled, and like the far ends, you might have to yell to hear each other, but you can hear each other.
Hey, is everybody all right?
Oh yeah.
Good.
Got a knife. I'm good.
Thumbs up. Good. You good?
I hit the wall.
Yes.
The wall's still there.
I attempt to break the wall.
The wall. It's roll me a strength check. Yeah, roll me a strength check.
Hell yeah. There we go. 14. Damn.
14. You hit the wall pretty solidly. It hurts a lot, and nothing really happens. There's a solid thunk.
Oh yeah, these guys are more advanced than the ancients, so we're at their mercy.
Hey, Goa'uld, don't hurt yourself down there.
No, let him do it. It makes him feel better.
Ow.
Jake looks out of the cells around us. Can he see any face to the voice that we've been hearing? Is it just ourselves that we're seeing in the walls?
Yeah, so right now, the front and back walls are still opaque. You still can't see through them. It's just the sides, and then the two people who are on the end. Their third wall is also not transparent. It's just the inner walls that connects y'all's stuff, so you guys can see each other, see that nobody's dead, that kind of thing.
Kathy, Rock, how are you doing?
Good. Confused. She asked like a lot of questions.
Yes.
Very polite though, like not bad.
No.
Rock just nods. I'm fine. Yeah, no questions. I mean, she asked me questions, but I I don't know if my responses were satisfactory. She was kind of really quiet.
I see. Glad you're all right.
They both give you a thumbs up. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Anything you guys want to discuss?
I feel like it'd probably just be some general chit chat. How you guys doing? Anybody have any
Any
idea who
thoughts?
this is?
Yeah.
Any thoughts? Like,
Well, we don't have Jane with us.
true.
Jane is missing.
Yep.
So either the voice is Jane, or Jane is being kept elsewhere, or is still in that biome.
Did anyone
Jane
else?
got left behind?
Anyone else notice the lavatory coming out the wall?
Yes.
Yes.
A little
Replicator, anyone?
unsettling.
I mean, don't get me
Teleportation,
wrong.
Fiddler?
Look, I can't tell. I cannot access anything here to tell what's going on, and it's really driving me insane because it's really cool. All right, but
They took all my samples.
they took all my toys. But I got a knife. But that doesn't help me against metal. So, I look. It's not blocky. It's different. It moves and transforms like a replicator, but it seems so much more advanced than one.
Like, I hate to say it, nanites? Like if replicators were nanites.
All right. It could be something like that, possibly. But it could just be matter transformation because you all had
That is
food.
fair, the teleportation, yes.
But if you're able to use a light to transmute something that's just there, then can't you use the same systems to transfer the materials that you have in the wall into something else?
Theoretically.
Exactly. You're so smart.
As y'all are talking, the front wall of each one of your boxes becomes transparent.
Oh.
Before you, you see a white room. It's spherical, it's rounded, there are no edges in this room. Standing in the center, you see Jane. She is cleaned up. She looks like she has, showered, bathed. Her hair has been taken care of. She looks gorgeous. On the center of her forehead, you see a gold, that golden symbol of a first prime Jaffa. And you recognize the symbol as the one that was branded in between her shoulder blades.
The mystery one.
Mm-hmm. Next to her is a tall woman with long black curly hair. Her eyes glow like a Goa'uld.
Oh no.
And she has a very relaxed but stern posture and expression. It reminds you of like an ancient queen kind of thing. The walls become transparent. You guys see this, and Jane steps forward. Hello. Glad to see you are all right. Does anyone need anything?
Jane! Is it
my
Jane?
stuff?
Your stuff is being held for you.
Are you the one we need to thank for the bathroom and the food?
No, that would be Lacan here.
Thanks. Lacan? Appreciate it.
The woman gives you a nod. My name is... You've been calling me Jane, and at the time, that was the best. I did not know who I was, did not know what I was. You may call me Freya. F-R-E'-A-H. Freya.
Cool.
I am the first prime of the exiled queen, Lacan. Any questions at this point?
So many,
question.
I don't know where to begin.
First question. Yeah. Are we we being held much longer here?
That depends
We
on
good?
you. That
Okay.
depends on the conversation we're about to have.
Freya, lovely name. How did you get your memories back? Did you get them back? Are you okay?
Yes, I am all right. They were reinstated by certain devices that Lacan has possession of.
I see. Second question. Excuse me, Miss Lacan. What, may I ask, if it is not too impolite, were you exiled for?
She speaks, and you recognize her voice as the one that was coming through the speakers. I disagreed with my Goa'uld siblings and the way they were running the galaxy.
She just nods like, oh, yes, that does seem to check out from what I've observed of Goa'uld culture.
So, quick recap question. So, these are ruins underneath the Phoenix planet that we were on, right?
Yes,
we got transported, and then
these ruins showed up a couple of weeks ago on the opposite continent on the planet that the Stargate Phoenix Command is located.
On the fully surveyed planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, so now it's been surveyed. The second continent wasn't fully explored. So they were still discovering things. So it wasn't like a huge red flag that this popped up.
Yeah, and then there was, when we first entered the place, there was in ancient writing, there was an embossed plaque that told us in a poem-esque way about a story of a Goa'uld queen who went into hiding for defaced someone named Lacan, perhaps. So this does seem to check out with what we saw in the historical aspects of it upon entering.
It just was recapping in my head for movement, just thinking.
How is Kathy reacting right now?
Kathy, roll a perception check or insight.
Of course. Which one's better? Not insight. Here's perception, 20.
Perception, okay. Kathy is not Kathy right now. Kathy is Ko right now.
Okay.
You notice
so
because
glowing eye versus glowing eyes.
Yeah, you have spoken to Ko before, briefly, but you've spoken to her before. You see that her posture is straighter. She is more
imperial.
Yeah, essentially more imperial. She is staring intently at Lacan. Lacan seems like you, because you're with your perception, they make eye contact. Lacan gives Ko like a small nod, like imperceptible nod.
Of course.
Ko does not respond. Ko is just standing there.
I guess.
What would you like to do? Yes.
Shall we get this ball rolling on what you'd like to talk to us about?
Jane, or Freya, steps forward. Lacan has not moved. She is definitely like, even without checks, you guys know she is watching and inspecting you all intently. She is watching your reactions. She is listening to what you say. You are being observed in depth, essentially. Excuse me. Freya steps forward. And she gestures back to Lacan. A very long time ago, even before the Tok'ra queen defected, Lacan took issue with the way that both herself and the other Goa'uld were running the system. For the longest time, I did not believe her. I can tell you myself, my personal experiences with Lacan were not good in the beginning days. As her prime, even as a favorite, I was mistreated. They are not pleasant memories that I draw upon when I think of those days. In the very young days of Earth, Lacan met a unique individual that changed her perspective. I will not say that I have forgiven her for the things she has done to me and others under her control, and I cannot say that the others forgive her either. It is a long path to redemption when you've endured such atrocities. I stay with her because I have faith that she has changed and that she can bring change to this galaxy. The work that she is doing, hopefully, will bring an end to the Goa'uld. Yes, please, Ixora.
What work may that be?
As you are aware, she has been doing experiments with merging Goa'uld into Jaffa hosts. I am aware that you all discovered one of her research facilities and interrupted a procedure several months ago. And you guys do remember your very first mission.
The mysterious cloaked figure.
Yes, the mysterious cloaked figure.
Also the torturing of our friends and other teammates and whatnot. That was there too, not just the cloak.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those experiments in that facility were discovered. There are others within the Goa'uld Empire who want similar results, if that makes sense. While Lacan's goal is to change and to alter the source of the Goa'uld's breeding, of their multiplication, there are those within the Goa'uld Empire who would love to be able to take Jaffa as hosts, as other hosts become more scarce and scarce as the uprising grows in strength. Any more, I cannot tell you at this time. It would risk everything we are trying to build.
So was that you, Miss Lacan, at that research facility several months ago, or another Goa'uld trying to use your research?
Lacan doesn't step forward, but she does speak at this time.
Mm-hmm.
You interrupted one of my rivals. I do not have many forces. Every Jaffa with me is here willingly. Any who did not wish to remain were given the resources to be free and to make their own choices.
Insight check.
Yeah, go for it.
No,
They can be free while they're dead.
Hindsight's 2020. Dirty 2020.
Dirty 20. She is not lying to you.
Okay.
Every Jaffa under her care is there willingly. She gave them the choice. She gave them the resources. When you guys encountered that research facility, she was not in control of it. She is telling you the truth.
Okay. It'd be a different story if she was there. Be like, let me just grab some Stargate peoples and just
right,
yeah.
Right. Your efforts in stopping my rival, while you did interrupt them, I was saddened to hear that you did not stop them. But again, thank you. And I am very sorry for the things that happened to your people while in my research facility. Please believe me when I say those were not my Jafar who were doing that. And she steps back, or she doesn't. She stops talking, essentially.
Yeah.
Free Ah looks to Rock. We are hitting a wall in our research. It is difficult to find Jafar willing to work with us, as we do work with Jafar who are only willing. We do work with Jafar who are only willing. We believe we are close to an answer, and we are willing to share that with the Tal'ri and the Stargate program. What we require from you is time and your assistance. Looking dead at Rock.
Interesting.
And that's all that said. She doesn't say anything more past that for this moment.
I look at Jake because he's in charge.
Jake actually looks at Rock. What was Rock's reaction?
Rock is standing with his arms crossed. He's looking a lot like Goa'uld right now. He doesn't trust the Goa'uld. He doesn't like even the Tok'ra. He's pretty like iffy on.
Except for Kathy.
Except for Kathy, like Kathy and Co. Like he's okay with Co because he's in love with Kathy. Like
I'm just saying. Okay, you're not like the Goa'uld. Why the hell are we in cages?
Yeah. Do you say that?
That's. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Lacan speaks up at this point, and she's looking dead at you with those glowing Goa'uld eyes. If I had approached you, if I had spoken to you with everything that you have seen in association with my symbol, would you have believed a word I said? Would you have listened to me? Have I harmed you? You are safe. You are fed. Those boxes are for my protection.
Wipes off the blood from his nose, picks a little off his ear, like, I feel pretty harmed over here.
We still have some kinks to work out with our technology.
You know, conversations are so much easier than knocking someone out with lack of inertial dampeners and stuffing them in cages.
Those were a lot of G-forces.
They were.
Honestly, I'm surprised we don't have more major damage.
That was on purpose. You're welcome.
I have another question.
Yes.
Scowls.
So, why was Freya in that biodome for so long, and where were you during this time until we're all here now? What happened?
Yeah, we saw a lot of graves of all of her friends.
Yes.
The hazards of the biodome.
Again, part of the research, unfortunately. And again, all were there willingly. While they might not have remembered it at the time, they were aware of it when they volunteered.
Does the same fate befall Rock? What kind are you asking him? What kind of help are you asking him for?
That experiment is over. And hopefully...
What did the giant catfish have to do with anything?
That's actually a good question.
Yeah, and I don't
just
mean
curiosity,
yeah. It's very easy to say after the fact that they agreed when you only gave them back their memories. And only one of them. We just have to take your...
She waves a hand, and you see a screen up here. And you see date, like a kind of like a video recorder where the date is up in the corner. From a very, 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 very long time ago. And it starts to go through a reel of 28 different people stating essentially that they volunteered, they understand that their memories will be wiped, they understand that what the work they're doing.
I appreciate the theatrics, but you know, for a person who can manipulate the very matter of everything around us and transport things where they want to, simple manipulation of video files is well beyond, well, the simplest thing you could do.
Deepfakes.
Chat GP. Oh
Yeah.
So were you just watching this time, or what where were you during? And I just gestured like the time files and like the many dates, all of that.
I am the prime researcher of this experiment.
So you have a big room with lots of screens, and you just watch and say, they need another pterodactyl right now, and push the button, and...
Or how about a 25-ton catfish? That sounds like fun.
In the simplest of terms, yes. In the more complicated of terms, no.
So what?
Damn it, Jake, I have to apologize because now I see what it's like when I talk down to you. I'm really sorry.
It's all good.
What was that phase of the experiment for then? Survivability?
In part.
What did you eat this whole time?
Are you asking Priya or Lacan?
Priya's been hunting in the danger room this whole time. Like
sorry,
have you gotten out, stretched your legs? Like, are you?
She's making 25-ton catfishes. She can do whatever she wants.
It seems fair, I guess.
Baby back ribs are easy.
Still don't know where they get all those babies.
I was not on your planet, if that's what you're asking.
The one we were just on? Because I assume we're no longer there.
Yes, that one.
How long have you been there? Were you there?
No, I was not there.
Just pop by, scoop up. Is that how you get more nutrients and matter to bioengineer the things you need? Visit other planets? Take some resources?
So, okay, so you're... What are you asking?
I'm like, how is she getting all the materials for this? Like,
how
why
is she getting
travel?
what she needs?
Yeah, like, do you visit other planets to get this? Why don't you just go at the bottom of the ocean somewhere if you're going to sit around for 500 years? Yeah, like, why travel as much as you have been? Because it sounds like you haven't been on that planet, Phoenix planet, for a while.
Yeah, she's been...
Wait, that asks more question, Ixora. Good point, because if she wasn't there, how did she get here and we not see on the planet we have all the sensors and all the things that say, you know, things are coming after us and there's no Stargate?
Again, I was not there.
Right, but
So where were you?
I was in my ship, in my home, where you are all now.
So we're no longer in the big...
No.
No. Oh.
Oh.
What? But that took off into space, did it not?
Yes.
I think that's just the face that Xora makes. Like, dear.
I have so many questions.
I do as well.
And don't have many answers for you.
Did you get the other SG team off? Or
they
were they not
safe.
in the planet? The thing, the biodome, the pyramid, the other ship.
They are safe. They are on your planet. They are not here.
Oh, they left.
See, I told you they'd run. Wussies, all of them.
Disappointed, like, oh.
They were not removed.
They ran.
They tried to stay.
That's what they say in the reports. First teams are always the prima donnas.
To answer your question, Ixora.
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
A lot of resources. A lot of resources I received from colonies that I was working with, I was developing. And you do
Remember that other colony. I'm scrolling
Yep,
for its
yep.
name. It's Drew. It's mission 5.
Oh, you did the
Uh,
tree. You did the tree thing. That was you.
Yes, that was a form of protection for that
Oh.
colony. Yes.
That was bastardized at the end. They did a really bad job with it once they
Yes, they did.
but the tree was nice. It looked
Like
that
it.
was really well done.
yes.
I could give you the schematics for it if you would like.
Oh, but the material science is well beyond anything that we could do right now. The schematics would be useless, to be honest.
In the future, we shall see.
Puts down his knife finally.
Yes, we did see a family of herbalists that you had worked with.
Ah, yes. They are doing quite well right now.
Yes, we've done a wonderful plant trade. Wait, no, this isn't the conversation we're having. It's like, whoop, stops that tangent right out loud.
Yeah. We worked with them. We had an accord where we helped them develop, helped them stave off raiders and incursions through the Stargate. We kept the Goa'uld away from them. In return, we got supplies, foodstuffs, produce, things we needed. It has been several generations since we have needed that from them, though.
So it would seem.
What I am asking is for you to take a leap of faith. You all have told me that you would sacrifice in order to stop the Goa'uld. Will you?
That's a blank check. What sort of sacrifice are you talking about?
She does not answer.
Don't like blank checks.
That's why it's a leap of faith.
Faith is earned.
Solution, does it
Does
require
Rock have
much
anything?
violence?
Hopefully.
Does Rock have anything to say
No.
about this?
Rock hasn't said anything. Rock has
He's
been
doing
listening.
that stoic.
Yeah. He has been listening and he has been observing.
What about Ko?
Let's say this
Ko?
involves them way too much.
Yes. Ko is out right now. She hasn't said anything yet. You guys can tell she has grown visibly more relaxed as Lacan and Freya have been talking.
Okay.
She is not as on guard. Hasn't said anything yet, has not put in any 2 cents, seems to still be waiting.
Okay.
Hey, Gorik,
He looks over at you.
what you thinking, buddy? How's your faith meter?
Oh yeah,
Excuse me.
I believe him.
So convincing.
They've convinced me.
So to recap, my understanding, she's just asking. She's asking for time, patience, and rock.
And Rock, yes. And she has not given you much of an explanation.
I know.
She's given you
That's
some
not-
answers.
Yes.
That's not good.
Some, but not
Ancient
many.
exiled Goa'uld queen wants us to give
Yeah,
her
I know.
faith so she can experiment on people in horrible ways, in which she's already
Yeah.
shown she treats her own people with very
Like shit,
little
yeah.
care and disdain. And she wants us to go, hey, yeah, let's sign me up.
I'm ready to. Let's go.
Me, I'm already thinking with Jake is like, nah, not gonna happen. But at the same time, he's looking for Rock to give an answer.
Yeah,
Because
this
this involves
it's up
him
to
way too
Rock.
much.
Yeah. Ixora believes everything the Goa'uld queen here says, because, made
Oh
a
no,
good insight check.
this is me that's like bullshit.
Oh,
Fiddler's
yeah.
like technology.
Technology.
Yeah,
So it's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
this is the goal of the Stargate program. It is a non-violent solution. This is part of my personal goals, my goals, my people. Okay, this sounds pretty good, but personal, autonomy is very important. So it's up to Rock, is what Ixora
Also,
is saying.
this is Goa'uld technology that has advanced beyond ancestor technology, ancient technology, and I don't understand how that happened.
All right, Jake will look to Rock and say, Rock, how you doing with all this?
Rock uncrosses his arms and kind of like puts his hands on his hips, kind of thing.
Serious now.
Yeah.
Oh, the hands on hips.
And he looks over at Ko. And then he looks back to Lacan. What exactly would this include? Lacan nods and is like, that makes sense, but you would want to know what you're signing up for. I can promise you no harm will come to you. You will remain as you are now. It's more so I need your unique input, your expertise, if you would say.
Michael.
Cue the music.
In the background, yeah.
Yeah.
In the background, yep. So you're not doing experiments on me. You're not like fucking around with my Goa'uld with the symbiote in me. You're not gonna put me on Tritonin. And I'm free to leave whenever. Lacan takes a second and you see her like considering his words. No harm will come to you. No harm will come to your symbiote. You will not be forced to do anything you do not want. You will be able to leave whenever you prefer. The only thing I ask is no communication. I cannot have my rivals intercepting anything I am working on again.
I'll tell you straight up that this seems really fishy and not quite right. But could be some truth in this.
I for one,
Maybe.
believe Lacan.
Superior technology.
Rock, I'm not going to order you to do anything you don't want to, but I'm also not going to tell you what you should do on this.
This is the perfect plan to stop the Goa'uld.
Sorry.
Again,
How do we get? How do we?
a
Can we
leap of
check
faith.
on? Can we check on him? How do we get communication with him when testing's
Oh,
done?
Yes, Ixora.
yes. I have so many questions. If communications are off the table, you are visiting other places and traveling. Perhaps there is a code word or phrase that we could establish with Rock that he could leave in certain locations that would have no meaning to anyone outside, but we would know that he is all right.
That's what I was trying
Should
to
we
get
come
at. Thank
across
you.
it? Or need to, have communications. Either way.
That would be acceptable. I believe we would be able to set up a
Drop
communications,
point. Yeah,
a
if you
drop
will.
point of relay. I could reestablish communications with the colony we previously worked with, that I understand you now work with.
Yes.
If it pleases you, if you agree, I will transport you there, all of you. You will come up with your code word. And I will come and get you in a week's time.
Well, my work here is done. I look at the rest of the group.
Okay.
See you in a week.
Poe speaks up at this time. And she looks to all of you. She looks to Phoenix 3. There are rumors, miss, about a queen before ours. One who defected, one who was exiled, one who was stricken from the histories. She's not lying about that. And I don't think she's lying about harm coming to Rock if he were to leave. I am not one to put faith in others. And leaps of faith make me nervous. But this does not make me nervous.
More like a launch of faith.
Any response from Rock?
He's just listening right now. But she says that, and Kathy comes out. So she fades into the background, and Kathy comes out.
Sora
and
wishes
she just
she had popcorn and romantic
Yeah.
music.
She like, she slouches a little bit as Kathy, that's her, posture, and crosses her arms, and she's like, no, I don't like it. I don't want you're not leaving. Nope, not happening.
Kathy,
Yes, Ixora.
what if you and if Rock wants to go, we still haven't gotten Rock's answer, but if he wanted to go, what if you could go with him? And I look at Rock and I look at Lacan like this could be an extra layer
of faith, of trust building. Lacan again considers it. She takes a moment and then nods. If she would like to stay with him, she is welcome. The Tok'ra is welcome as well. She doesn't look particularly happy about that, but
pieces about compromise.
yeah, she's allowing it. She's like, if this gets me what I want, I will work with the Tok'ra.
And I just eagerly wait Rock's answer.
Rock is going to turn to you guys. Jake, you're the mission leader. What do you think?
Rock, I'm not happy losing somebody one way or the other, especially when a lot could be on the line for it. If you want to go, you can go. If you want to stay, you can stay. Either way, we've got your back. This involves you very intimately compared to us. And we can always find more technology and help elsewhere. Hers isn't the only option.
My biggest concern, if she's lying, like, we all have mission critical information about the Phoenix Command.
Yep.
Free speaks at this point, and also to point out, she has been observing that planet for a very long time. She is well aware of Phoenix Command's goings about already. And you have not come to harm because of her.
We'll say if you go, Rock, we'll at least do standard protocol and change the codes. So if you need to come knocking on the door, knock really loud.
I'm gonna roll something.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll something for Rock, and I'm gonna roll something for Kathy.
Yeah, I'm very
Go
curious
for
to
it.
see about
Look,
this. I
I'm
think we
doing
need
my
some
best to
dice
set them up
intervention.
for romance. So, either way,
They should both go together.
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. I was like, if Rock goes, I'm like, Kathy needs to go with them, and they can have a beautiful romance in space.
So it was evens or odds, and it was
Oh.
odds.
What's the odds? I
So
don't know.
they both rolled
Guns
odds.
blazing.
So they're either both in or they're both out.
Rock looks to Kathy. Kathy is standing there in her cell, angrily, arms crossed, looking, just kind of glaring at Lacan. And if Kathy can stay, and if he squints at Lacan, because he doesn't trust her, right? He is a Jaffa who has turned against the Goa'uld. He does not trust her. If
I have complete faith.
if all of my conditions are agreed to, I will stay. Lacan nods. Consider your conditions. Figure out exactly what it is that you require. And we will come to an agreement.
So, can we get this in writing? It's like a Tari
I was
tradition.
about to say that.
For what it's worth.
No. We haven't really talked about the disposition of us. She's only been talking about what she needs with our friends over here, and we're in cages, and we're ancillary to any of this. I mean, she could say, "Oh no, your friends, I'm sending them home," and then evacuate chambers, and we're floating in space. So, I'd like to know what's happening to us as well.
I absolutely could do that.
Yes. It haunts me at the moment.
But why would you do that to the faithful?
But that would get me nowhere. You will be returned to a planet with a Stargate, and you will be allowed to return home. No harm will come to you. All of your things will be returned.
My samples.
Including your samples, Ixora.
Yes.
We've got a few fun schematics of super ancient technology. I mean, just some friendly little things, and nothing special,
You've
but
been
just something.
so polite.
I mean, just something to say, while you were held captive by an organization we do not know yet, and
They are going to have
has
a lot of questions.
lots
if we return empty-handed without
days
Rock
of
and
questions.
Kathy.
Just a little bit let's pretend we can say we negotiated from a position that we weren't exactly at the mercy of the person who was captured the entire time. So at least we look good.
Lacan looks.
She's smiling.
She's like the faintest bit of amusement on her expression. Her expression really hasn't changed this whole time. It's been that kind of stern, regal, like a queen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you see the faintest hint of an amusement on her features. I can accommodate.
All right, I'm with Goa'uld. I have faith.
Does anyone else have any requests?
More chocolate pudding? I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I was getting. I felt like I was getting somewhere, and I took it too far. I apologize.
The ring above you activates and the chocolate pudding appears on the ground.
Hell yeah.
Personally, I would love any records you might have on ancient Goa'uld society, so that I might use them to correlate to how Goa'uld society is today, and therefore extrapolate where the cultural turns have taken place. Just like a bunch of like anthropologist, archaeology speaking.
Yeah.
I'm just. If you're like that long ago before the Tok'ra, man, that's got to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Maybe this will explain some of their behaviors over time.
She considers it.
Maybe get some.
Unfortunately, I was exiled, and when I left, it was very quickly.
Ah, I see.
I can provide you with some personal observations of our culture back then, but it would be very biased to my opinions.
I see. Just ponders an archaeologist for a moment.
Yeah. If you would like, I can absolutely provide that to you. Let me know. Goa'uld? No, okay.
No, I'm not talking to her. I'm just
Not
thinking of
talking to her,
something that. Well, I was just thinking, if she's that old, why is she so lucid?
She's got good tech, man. She's probably got a superior sarcophagus or something.
That's a good question.
Because I mean, like, that's older than you, right? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
She is a lot older than you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
If she has, you're muted, Fiddler.
Yeah. You have heard Fiddler going on and on and on about the extreme difference in her technology compared to ancient technology.
Yeah.
There is something else here.
Mm-hmm.
Stolen, I'm sure.
It's more advanced than ancient technology and based upon ancient technology.
So she's found a society that she was able to steal more advanced than ancient technology
it was
from.
the Tolan version of the ancients. There we go. Here's my ancestors right there.
I was
That's
thinking
what
she
it was.
met someone who changed her mind. I wonder if that was one of the ancients who went back to Earth in their early days after something, and maybe because one of the ancients did create the replicator technology.
Oh God, was it an Ori? Could have been Ori.
Could have been someone. Yeah.
Could have been.
It was
that would have sucked.
Could have been an ancient that went back to Earth.
Could have been one of the ancients who worked on the replicator project.
Merlin.
Because this tech has those vibes.
Yeah, Merlin could have been anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to off track. Anyways.
No, you're good.
Yep.
Our tracks never go straight.
Yeah. Exora's request is for her views on the ancient Goa'uld society, and also as in depth as she can go on the person she met on ancient Earth, Tauri, who changed her mind so. She wants to know about that incident, because that is culturally fascinating and could perhaps be used to help turn other Goa'uld away from...
Okay.
Yeah.
Good point.
She'll
just basically want her memoir on that.
Right, her memoir. That is very personal. I will consider it.
Thank you. Be most appreciative. It's absolutely fascinating. And I think she just mutters ever so quietly, and I love a good love story.
Free will turn to, because Jake and Goa'uld are the only ones who haven't made demands. Jake Miller, Goa'uld, is there anything you require?
Only to be released from here so I may better serve you.
Jake gives
You see,
Warwick a
you
look.
see Free roll her eyes, like visibly roll her eyes. Jake Miller.
Just want our people to be safe and left alone. For now. That's all I want. By that he's meaning like Phoenix Command and everybody, not like, oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna drop
yeah.
a Goa'uld tactical nuke on you the moment I leave. Like,
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no. In that case, give us some time to compile what you require, and you will be set free. The front walls turn opaque again. Your center walls turn opaque again, so you're individual. But then they
Slide
melt
down
essentially.
melt.
Yeah, they morph down into into the ground. So you guys are all now in one long chamber. You're not separated anymore. What would you like to do?
Goa'uld, you're such a horrible freaking liar.
Warwick worship?
What?
Oh my god. I mean, even I knew you were lying, and I
Of course I am not lying.
Warwick.
I have complete faith.
The look on the face. Of
Good
course
job,
you
Gork.
do, Gorik.
Keep it up.
Remember, she is ever watchful.
I don't know how to respond to that right now.
Damn it, Gorik, we've already come to an agreement.
Oh.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys all okay with
You're
this?
just jealous she didn't want you and she wanted the other guy.
Oh yes, very jealous.
Yeah.
Why was I not chosen?
That's what I thought. Rock pops up.
Oh, bless.
I think I have a symbiote and you don't.
Ooh, them's fighting words.
Ooh, hmm.
I think that's why.
I have no argument to that.
And he's just speculating. That's just his guess as to why she wants him and not you. Because that's the difference between you guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So Jake will approach Rock and be like, are you sure you're good with staying?
I don't trust the Goa'uld. Sorry, Ko. And you see that Ko is back at this point.
I flash.
Yeah. Ko is back at this time. Kathy is a little upset. So Ko is taking the pilot seat, essentially. Yeah. Your mistrust of the Goa'uld is understandable. The Tok'ra, while our intentions are good, we still have a lot to prove. There's a lot of trust to be built there. I will stay, as will Kathy, if it is what you require, Rock.
Ixora's just nodding in the background.
Yeah. I'd be more comfortable if you and Kathy stayed. I feel awful asking that because it's potentially putting you both in danger, but I'd feel better if you stayed. And Ko nods.
Massive eye roll from Fiddler.
Ko, Kathy, could I have a word with you for a moment on this side of the large communal cell now?
Ko fades and Kathy comes out, and she's still got her arms crossed. She still looks a little angry. And she'll follow you over.
Okay, I get over to the other side of the cell. So, I know all this is a lot. I recommend a journal to just write down your thoughts and things, just to help process everything. Also, I think, glance, I think that Rock really fancies you.
you're telling her this while captured by a Goa'uld in a communal cell?
Yes, I'm gonna do this so they're not just sitting there pining the whole time, and that romance can blossom.
Can blossom.
Because she likes him, but she thinks they both think they're not into each other.
Yep.
But I think that he thinks that you don't like him, but I think that you might like Rock as well. Communication needs to happen, and what a better place than, the two of you in solidarity on whatever project this is.
She
this
looks
whole time. This whole time.
Yeah, she looks like there's that spark of hope, but then like the doubt comes in,
And I see
as it does.
You might be doubting what I'm saying, but let me tell you, and I put my hand on her shoulder, and in my best, Towery impression, girl, he's into you.
Okay. I'll keep
I just
that
wanted
in
you to be aware.
mind.
Yeah, in case, the feeling was mutual, because he doesn't think it is, and he's just pining.
Okay, while this conversation's going on,
Yes.
Fiddler goes over to Jake.
Okay.
Jake, you know that whole thing about bringing Kathy along? We're just giving the Goa'uld like a pressure point against our guy, Rock, because she knows Rock and Kathy like each other. So now we're giving her someone she could torture to make Rock do whatever she wants him to.
Possibly.
Oh, come on now. Romance is dead. Just come on. We're in space. Evil Goa'uld doing technology. Look what she did to her prime.
Space romance?
Oh, God,
Look,
Tari. It's just as bad.
Look,
Oh, God.
No. Look, Filler, I say that in jest. Like, I don't like these two going with her all the same, but if they want to go, given the conditions we put forth, if she holds to it, which I don't trust her to completely hold to it.
What does it matter
What
what she
choice do we
promises? She drops us off on a planet, or she says she's dropping us off and we go for a quick walk
But
out of an
that's-
airlock.
But
All right.
why even ask? She could just kill us.
Because she's trying to look good for her prime? Who she
Possibly.
tortured for thousands of years? Or hundreds or
Possibly.
whatever?
Yeah. I'm not happy with this situation, Fiddler.
I mean,
Not
technology
happy.
is great. I'm glad I'm getting some schematics, all right? It's great. I feel good about it right now if I live to look at them, all right? But I feel really bad. Really, really bad about Kathy and Brock. It's not going to end well. And it'll be all your fault as their commander. No pressure.
As everyone's talking.
Yes. This is getting terribly, look, girl, he's into you. Just, if you want anything happen, just, he will totally bite that hook. You know what I'm saying?
He'll bite that hook. Yep.
Yep.
As
Any
this
bait
is
you throw
happening,
down.
as y'all are all talking and conversing, everybody roll me
It's just Gorg and Rock
Constitution
standing
saving
there in the
throws,
middle.
please.
Oh,
Yep.
no.
Constitution. The bitch is
Yes,
knocking us
please.
out again. Yep, I'm out.
By Fiddler.
Oh, that was okay. That was that's the same.
8 for Xora.
Oof. I was good with the
Oh,
G's.
8 for Jake.
Jake.
Good God.
G-forces. This is
8
how
for
we
Gorg.
roll.
Oh my
This
God,
is
8 for
how we
Gorg.
die.
Oh, like a
so
light.
terribly in this game.
So that was a 9, an 8, an 8, and an 8, and then let's
3 8s.
roll
Yep.
for 2d20.
I'm just impressed. I was the high roll that time with a 9. All right,
No.
I feel good.
Another 8,
8 and a 3.
and a 3.
Look,
So
we roll bad in this game. It is a fact. It is well established. I'm just hoping I wake up on a planet with with this lady's memoirs in my hand, and I can read that intimate love story in my free time.
Brock and Kathy are screwed. All right, you just knocked us out instead of just giving us, hey, we're gonna have a little bit of turbulence. You might fall out of, fall asleep, and then pop, No.
So y'all are all talking. You're having these conversations, and you all of a sudden y'all get really, really freaking tired. So Yeah, y'all all kind of you slump to the ground. You guys are knocked out. It's some type of knockout gas.
Mhm.
Something caused y'all to all faint. You are unconscious for some time. Not quite sure how long. An indeterminate amount of time later, you all begin to wake relatively about the same time. Y'all rolled the same similar constitution throws.
Yeah.
So around the same time, you guys start to wake up, and you find yourself on a planet. There are vast plains, to one side of you, and then to the other side, there is a Stargate with a DHD there as well. You guys have all of your stuff. It is, in neat piles next to each one of you. Everything is there. Fiddler, there's an additional data pad in your pile. Ixora, there is an additional data pad in your file as well.
Nice.
Bravery.
Rock, Kathy, and Co. are not with you. Hold on.
But we've been able to get the code word. Ixora was thinking FedEx because she ships it. And also, it'd be really difficult for anyone to guess.
Ships it? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
FedEx.
FedEx. Also, the Goa'uld aren't gonna guess that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god.
Jake, you have a like a folded piece of paper on your pile.
I owe you.
Yeah. When you open it, it is a encoded. You know that this is it's a military code. Not many people know it. You know for a fact that the Goa'uld, most of them have not cracked it, don't know how to read it. It's something that has been used pretty frequently to transport messages across like Stargates and things like that. It's from Rock, and it has a code word on it there.
Perfect.
Essentially, it says, when you want to reach out to me or when I reach out to you, we'll send word to that one colony and then go from there.
Okay, got it. Folds the paper, puts it in the pocket.
What would you like to do? This time you guys don't have the headache. You don't have the body aches. You wake up just like waking up from a nap.
Is there a Stargate nearby?
Yes. Yep. There's planes to one side and a Stargate to your other with a DHD.
Fiddler wakes up
I think
cursing.
it's time to go home.
Just every curse he knows in whatever language he knows at this point in
Did
time.
she feed the salamanders? I'm like searching for the right vial.
Quick gear check.
Yes. Actually, we need to do complete checks to make sure she didn't add anything.
That's also a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Go
we're gonna be in debrief for like 6 weeks now, all right?
Yeah, at this
medical,
rate, my God.
mental, freaking physical, everything. She
Don't
didn't
ever
do us any
ahead.
favors.
Roll me some investigation checks. You guys can each roll me one, or two people can roll with advantage, whatever you prefer.
Okay. Right.
Ixora's got it.
Dang, Ixora.
How are all of my samples?
I'm too busy cursing to really focus.
Okay.
Yeah, 20.
Ixora, you check your stuff. Everything is fine. Everything is good. You don't see any like additional.
Were the living samples cared for?
Yes. They were.
Okay, good.
They were. It looks like they were well cared for. Like a couple of them are a little bit more plump. Like they've been fed really well. You finish with your stuff and you move on to everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
You don't find anything. Everything is clean.
Okay. And then the last thing I check is I look through this, just check to see if there's an index. Did the story I want the mostest make it to there? Her encounters with the person who changed her?
So you have 3 entries. One is just briefly glancing at it, it seems to be like an experiment overview.
Okay.
She seems to have lined out some of her experiments that she's done and like her reasonings for it. It doesn't seem, just from briefly glancing at it, I can let you know in depth later.
She's just skimming right now to see what she got.
Yeah. The second is it's a little bit longer, and it is a like her observations, like her memories of her observations from back a long time ago, of when she was with the Goa'uld. And then the third entry is a couple pages of her encounter with that person. And I have something for that.
Oh my gosh.
I will get it to you soon. It's not quite finished yet, but I will get it to you soon.
Beautiful. You've made Ixora's day.
You also go through, in your investigation sweep, you go through the data pad that was provided to Fiddler. Just to check, because you don't want any traces, you don't want anything.
Basically,
right?
No bugs. We don't want anything.
No bugs. Yeah. And you see that
let's plug this up, virus.
Yeah. It's totally clean. He has 4 schematics for 4 different things.
And we may not fully understand it, but you know who might? Our BFF.
Super intelligent AI.
Your AI. Yep.
That we have created a body so it can walk around.
Yep.
And cause indeterminate damage to the entire systems of everything we go to.
We make such good choices.
Yep.
We do.
Drew. Yeah, you guys can give those schematics to Drew and find out what happens. Yeah. You guys seem to be okay.
Don't believe
it.
Well, dial up the gate. Let's go home.
And I'm like reading through it as I go. For once, Ixora is not writing the mission report on our way back to the Stargate command, because she's like, it's only a couple of pages, and I don't know if I'm gonna have the clearance to read all this later, so I want to get this story now.
You are able to, essentially. You might not be able to totally finish it by the time the gate is done dialing. But you might have a couple minutes with it on the other side where you'd be able to finish it.
She's walking very slowly. She's doing the walking ready thing. Oh, just a couple more moments. Just keep
time
the gate
to go,
open. I'm almost there. My legs are so tired.
A slow walk until you finish it.
The gate's gonna close.
Fiddler's right next to her, going through his schematics. Like, what is that? Connects to that? Ixora, look. Oh, never mind. Okay, look. Just going through the whole time.
The base needs this gate open on the other side.
they gotta use it.
5 more sentences.
Oh, so when you guys dial the gate and Jake, you put in y'all's access codes, you do get a transmission before you're allowed to come back.
We've been gone for who knows how long.
It's General PK Lawyer, and he's like, "Where the hell have you guys been? What happened? What's your code word?"
It's a long story. Here's the code.
Yeah. He essentially accepts it. You give him, like your access code, and then he'll let you guys through. But that's where we're gonna end tonight. Ooh. Congratulations. You guys completed episode 7, part 2, Secrets and Sacrifices. You guys discovered a secret Goa'uld queen and sacrificed maybe a couple of party members, a couple of
we'll see about that.
Phoenix staff members.
No, I'm just starting a fanfic, the Kathy Rock love triangle fanfic.
Love triangle.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Love in space.
Yep. Yeah, love in space. Loving Goa'uld spaceship territory. Yep. Yeah, so we're gonna go around. We're gonna tell us where we can find you. Tell us, what your favorite part was, and what you're looking forward to in the second half of this season, because we are in the final stretch. We're in the last 6 episodes. So, and it'll be exciting. I'm ready for what's coming up next. I'm Nuggetosaurus. You can find me here on Mondays, in our Mondays in Exandria game, where I play a human bard, and we were just teleported to Maquette on Corel, halfway across the world. I am the Gate Master for our Tuesday Stargate Flames of Hope. We won't be playing next week, but we will be playing the week after. This is a bi-weekly game. And you can find me on the occasional Saturday when we're able to play aliens. I play a synthetic human, and that's a lot of fun. My favorite part was just all of y'all's reactions and the conversations that you guys had with Lacan when you were, separated in your own conversations as she was trying to get a gauge of y'all's character. I thought that was really interesting. It went places that I wasn't really expecting, and I really liked that. I thought it was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's me. I'm going to hand it over to the scion of our channel and let her take it away for us. Lindy?
Yes, thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. We're going to go around in reverse order and say who you are, favorite parts, where we can find you. Jake Miller, how was tonight for you?
Great. Yeah, favorite part was all of our individual conversations with all of our personalities coming out. Awesome. I'm Shiny Pot 26, playing Jake, and I'm here with us when we do our Stargate games, and Mondays as well on Lindy's channel when we play our D&D. And this was great. It was fun. It's been a while. I needed that. Yay, Stargate. I love Stargate. So good job, everybody. It was good. So thanks, everybody, for watching.
Thank you. And Gorik, how was tonight for you?
Oh, very great, very great. Let's see. My favorite part was definitely picturing Ixora as a Goa'uld therapist. That was definitely my favorite part. Also, I'm looking forward to building a dagger to stab that dang person. What, Ixora? Not the fucking
Lacan?
Lacan. That's the one. Yeah.
It's the jungle
Anyway,
juice.
yeah, jungle juice.
Fabulous.
Lacan. Yeah, that's the one. Have a nice. Yes, thank you, everybody.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Yes.
Woo! You lived. We all lived. Well, we know for sure that SGP-3 lived. Fiddler, how was tonight for you?
Oh, my turn?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I just whooshed over there.
Whoosh!
Like, wow.
Hi. I'm not the birthday boy. I'm only wishing the birthday boy a happy birthday with his jug of jungle juice. This was great. I'm Deception Check. You can find me here on Mondays when I actually run the game on Mondays. Mondays in Exandria, the new batch, where they are now in Ankarel, trying to find their way in this great metropolitan city in the sands. It's a beautiful city. It's a very interesting and intriguing location, and they have yet to even find the tip of the iceberg at this location, and I cannot wait to see what happens as they progress further into the mystery that is Alan, the Apotheon. You can find me here on also Tuesdays playing Fiddler here, and occasionally on Aliens on Saturdays when I play Hen Granger. And favorite part was the individual little stories. Also the shipping of those two poor people who are now dead. And all the technology that Fiddler is going to get because he will sell his soul for a really nice bit of tech. So I believe he already has. So that works out well. Thanks.
Thank you. And that just leaves me. Ixora firmly believes that everything's fine. Just this lady's being honest, and we're gonna get hopefully a nice non-violent resolution. At least maybe an option for the Goa'uld. And yeah, that's Ixora's point of view. I'm like, I don't know, but this is gonna be wonderful with whatever decisions we make, because it's gonna be terrible in all the best ways. And my favorite parts was, oh gosh, I think all of our conversations with Lacan over the intercom. Jake Miller's was just so, like, SG-1 Stargate-ish. Like, oh yeah, about that bathroom though. Like, yeah, Gorik's lying was hilarious because it was so bad. I loved it. Fiddler being technology obsessed as always, and Ixora just being such a dang nerd. I loved all of it. I can't wait for more, and I can't wait to see all the ramifications of our actions later in the campaign. Yeah, Yeah, that's us. You can find us here next week for more One Days in Exandria, the new batch. You can find us not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, because Stargate's on a bi-weekly schedule, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. We're gonna be playing Stargate. It's gonna be awesome. And we were going to have Call of Cthulhu this week, but I'd received a message not very long ago, and something has come up, so not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, Wednesday the 28th, will be the start of Wintercroft Investigations, and it will be very exciting, and yeah, check it out. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out. Until next time, have fun and play games.